Hello students, good morning. How are you all? I hope you all are fine there. Okay, so what we discussed in our previous classes? Yes, in our previous classes we are discussed our chapter. What is the title of our chapter? Yes, how far is the river? This is the title of our chapter. So, do you remember our story? What is our story? Yes, here there is a boy. He want to visit the river. He want to see the river and he want to feel the all things in the river. Okay, that is the main thing that happening in our story. In our previous two classes, we are discussing about the journey of the preparation and the journey to that river. Our boy is willingly he started his journey for to see the river. That is happening in our previous videos. Today we are learning the third portion, the third page of our story. So let's start our story. Are you ready? Yes, very good. We all are enjoying to learn our the story. So what happened today? Yes, first I'll read the portion. You just listen carefully. So in the last portion we are discussing, our boy is first asked to a woodcutter. Then he asked to the river about a girl. Okay, actually the girl is doing something. What is that? Yes, with which she had been cutting grass. Okay, so she is cutting grass with a knife. The bangle she wore made music when she moved her hands. It was as though the hands spoke language of their own. How far is to the river? Asked the boy. The girl had obviously never seen to the river. Oh, she may have been thinking of another one because she said 20 miles without any hesitation. The boy laughed and ran down the path. Pad suddenly screeched, flew low over his head. A flash of red and green, the bird disappeared among the trees. The trickle of water came from the hillside, and the boy stopped to drink. The water was cold and sharp, but very refreshing. However, it seemed to have the effect of making him more thirsty. The sun was striking his side of the hill, and the dusty path became hotter. The sun scorching the boy's feet. He was sure he had gone half away. He had walked for over an hour. Presently he saw another boy ahead of him, driving a few goats down the path. How far is the river? He asked. The village boy smiled in a friendly way and said, Oh, not far, just round the next hill, straight down. The boy, feeling hungry, unwrapped his loaf of bread and broken into halves. Offering one portion to the village boy, they sat on the hillside and ate with silence. When they had finished, they walked on together and began talking and talking. The boy did not notice the smarting of his feet and the heat of the sun and the distance he had covered and the distance he had yet to cover. But after some time, his companion had to diverge along another path, and the boy was once more off his own. So this is the thing that we have to explain detail. Okay, so just listen. You listen to the explanation. Okay. So here we are already telling that there our boy he is asking to the girl. Okay, the girl she is something telling something. What is that? Yes, our boy asked to the girl how far is the river. So she tell that she may have thinking of another one because she said 20 miles without any hesitation. Actually she is thinking something else. So without any hesitation, she without any doubt, hesitation means doubt, without any doubt she just say 20 miles. The boy laughed and ran down the path. Okay, the boy, he just laughed and ran out. Parrot suddenly screeched, flew low over his head. So a parrot just flew just around his head, and it just like a flash of red and green. That is the color of our parrot. The bird disappeared among the trees. Suddenly, the bird is disappearing among the trees. The trickle of water. Okay, the trickle of water came from the hillside. There will be a sound which is hearing from the hillside. And the boy stopped to drink. The water was cold and sharp but very refreshing. There he heard some sounds of water, and it is very clear and sharp and very refreshing. However, it seemed to have the effect of making him more thirsty. So that time he became more thirsty. He wanted to drink more water. The sun was striking his side of the hill. It is a very haughty time. The sun is striking on him. Okay, and the dusty path become hotter. All the sand, all the dusty part become too much hotter, and the stones are scorching. Okay, the all stones are which is burning, like a burning. Okay, through the lights of sun, the sunlight which is caused to scorching the boy's feet. He was sure he had gone half away. Okay, the boy is sure he had gone half away. He had walked for an hour. He just walked for an hour. Presently he saw another boy ahead of him and driving few goats down the path. Then presently he saw another boy, he driving his goats. Okay, he just driving his goats. How far is the river? So our boy recently the same time he just saying that, asking that how far is the river? Yes, the village boy smiled in friendly way and said, "Oh, not far, just round next hill. It is not far, it is just near." The boy feeling hungry and wrapped his loaf of bread. So in that time the boy feel very hungry. So in the starting of this journey he taking a wrap of bread. Okay, so he just broken into two halves and offering one portion to the village boy. They sat on the hillside and ate with silence. So they all sat in the hillside and ate the loaf. Loaf means bread, piece of bread. When they had finished, they walked together and began talking and talking. When they are finished the loaf, the bread, the piece of bread, they are talking and talking. The boy did not notice the smarting of the feet and the heat of the sun, the distance he had covered and the distance it to cover. Our boy is never thinking about his feet or the hot sun, or how much he's covered or how much he want to cover. He doesn't think about in that particular moment. And the distance he had to cover. But after some time, the companion had diverged along another way. So, in this time, he have a companion, another village boy. He's driving his goats. They are talking and talking with the walks. Okay. So, after some time, our village boy is diverging. He is diverging another path, and the boy once more on his own. So, our boy is alone to walk. Okay. This is. Then the next page you can see, he missed the village boy. He could not be seen. His own home and also hidden from the view by the side of the mountain. The river was not in sight either. He began to feel discouraged. He was sorry he had finished the bread. He might want it later. Okay, so that time the village boy is diverged into another path and he missed the village boy. In that time he missed the village boy. He could not be seen. He could not be seen anything. His own home and also hidden the view by the side of the mountain. So he can't see anything. His house or his village or anything. He can't see anything. The river was not in sight either. But what is there? The river is not in sight. He began to feel discouraged. Okay, he began to feel discouraged. He was sorry he had finished the bread. He might want it late. After the finishing of bread, he wanted the bread later. He was determined to see the river. Okay, so he was the strong determination is to want to see the river. He walked on along the hot, dusty, stony path past mud huts and terraced fields until there were no more fields or huts, only forest and sun and loneliness. Now there was no man or any sign of man influence, only trees and rocks and bramble and flowers, only silence. Okay, so now our boy is alone to walk to see the river. He is alone there. He walked along through that path. It is very hot and very dusty. Okay, very dusty, stony path. So only the forest and sun. Okay, there only the forest and sun is there. Now there was no man. There is no man in that time. There is no man or any sign of man's influence. In that time there will be no man. No man's influence is there. Only the trees and rocks. Okay, so only there will be trees and rocks and bramble the flowers, only with silence. Okay, there is no around a human being or any human's influence. There will be a completely the forest or the rocks with a full of silence. The silence was impressive and a little frightening. It was different from the silence of room or street. It was silence of space, of the unknown, the silence of God. Okay, what he say? Yes, the silence was impressive and little frightening. So actually, this silence is which have a frightening. Okay, he is actually feared about the silence. It was different from the silence of a room or street. Actually, this silence is totally different from a room or a street. It was the silence of a space, of the unknown. It was the silence of God. Then the boy rounded a sharp bend and silence broke into sound. Then suddenly what happened here? Yes, the silence is broken into sound. What? Did you think that what is that sound? A sudden roaring sound, the sound of the river. Yes, at last finally he heard the roaring of a sound about our river. Far down in the valley, the river tumbled over rocks. The boy gasped and began to run. He slipped and stumbled, but still he ran. Then he was ankle deep in the painfully cold mountain water, and the water was blue and white and wonderful. So at last he see the river. Okay. Far down in the valley, the river tumbled over the rocks. He see the river is tumbled over the rocks, or the river is falling over, falling just like a movement. Okay. So falling over the rocks, the boy gasped and began to run. Boys began to run into the water. He slipped and stumbled. He fell down and stumbling there, but still he ran. Okay, it is a strong determination to see and feel the river. Then he was ankle deep in the painful cold mountain water, and the water was blue, white, and wonderful. Then he dipped his feet into the river, into the water, and he felt the effect of that water. And also the water was blue and white and wonderful. He said that it is the very clear water, it is blue and white, isn't it? So this is the portion. I think you got an idea about our story. Today we are discussing the 2 pages of our story. So actually our story is completed. Okay, so our story is completed. I hope you do understand what is the story. If you have any doubts regarding the story, definitely you just message me or ask me. Okay, so this is the story. So you do one thing, read the portions and try to understand the story. Okay, so thank you all of you. Thank you so much. Have a nice day. Bye bye.